This is Clint Locklear from the Farmer's Grove. I'm at my father-in-law's house, Bob, and what you're looking at here is some air layering on a magnolia tree. I like the genetics of this tree because it's pretty straight. A lot of them aren't. I don't know the variety of this. That's irrelevant to me. But I've got 4 air layers on this. Now, why am I showing a magnolia tree and something to do with permaculture? Well, there's reasons that you want to have certain plants and certain trees on your property. On the Farmer's Grove, where these are going to be going, my wife grew up with this magnolia tree. I'm happen to be pretty fond of Bob, so it means a lot to me to have trees from Bob's yard on my farm where my wife grew up. That to me is just as important of how functional it is. Now, there's some function reasons to having magnolias. Chickens would love it. Ducks would love it. If you look at the leaves, I don't know if you're not from the South and you've never really been around magnolia trees, there's a lot of silicon in the leaves. It makes an amazing mulch. You know, and I could give all these reasons why it's all permaculture to have one of these, and I could come up with different functions. One, the chickens are going to love it. 2, it means something to me to have this on my farm. So that's the reason I'm air propagating these with the clamshells. I'm just out here watering them. We put these on about a month and a half ago. I'll pull these off in September. And then if we go over here, I planted some ginkgos over at the farm, and they did not like the area they were planted in. And those ginkgos don't really mean a whole lot to me because they're not from Bob's yard. So this is one of the ginkgo trees my wife grew up with. She loves the way it looks in the fall. I want it for the medicinal reasons. So I'm propagating off of a very healthy specimen with air propagators to get the trees that I want. Now, most anybody would understand in permaculture why I want some ginkgo trees. But just think about, you probably have some places or some people you know, or some grandparents or parents or anything like that, that the historical value of being able to have that tree on your property will mean something to you, regardless if it's just like a super permaculture type of tree. For goodness sake, learn to air propagate, move that history with you, because who's to know what's going to happen to these trees in these yards 15 years from now. And I'd much rather get trees with history than I would just go to a nursery and buy them. For one, they're cheaper, but it means more to us. And I think that's just as important sometimes inside of permaculture on our own systems, is we could do stuff. You may have an old apple tree you grew up with, a pecan tree on your grandparents' place or whatever. Move those trees to where you want them by learning how to air propagate them. And trust me, they will mean more to you than anything else you're going to be able to get at a nursery. And this is what I'm doing today, is watering the air propagator over at my father-in-law's property, so I can always have part of Bob in his yard on my farm.